My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is a show beloved by all, but some people like the show for different things. You might like it for the music, you might like it for the visuals, you might like it for the deep lore and history. The reason I like the series most of all is for the characters. MLP has so many diverse characters that more than any show I've ever seen, and at least all of them has at least one episode they star in. But today we're focusing on my favourite member of the main six. Not the whole show, I'll get to that in another video. Today we're looking at the best character of the main six, Twilight Sparkle. Twilight is the best and probably only example of a long-time character arc in the series. She went from a snobby, shut-up academic to the ruler of all of Equestria. But how did she get there? In this video, we're going to find out.
There you are, Twilight! Moondancer is having a little get-together in the West Castle courtyard. You want to come?
Oh, sorry, girls. I got a lot of studying to catch up on.
Right out of the gate, this scene already tells us everything we need to know about Twilight, at least in this episode. We see she's socially awkward and avoids others. She's very academic and serious about her studies. And she's a fast runner. Okay, I'll admit I reached him there, but it still proves my point. We see Twilight at her worst here, dismissive, full of herself, and a bit of a loner. But we all know the story. Princess Celeste sent her to Ponyville to supervise the Summer Sun celebration, and really it's an excuse to
Make some friends!
yeah, what he said. We then meet the main six and get some interesting results.
Hello?
Bro actually just got rugby tackled. She gets frustrated and really doesn't want to make friends, but she has to. And that's her arc throughout the first two episodes. Understanding that magic isn't the only part of a young unicorn's life, and that friendship can be the most powerful magic of all. Nightmare Moon is introduced as an obstacle for Twilight to overcome, and the main six are all put through trials that test their element of harmony and their spirits, which all culminates to the climax where they finally defeat Nightmare Moon. Twilight realises the power of friendship is worth studying and promises to
Study harder than ever before.
yeah, what she said. But really, that's really it for season 1. Twilight sort of fluctuates throughout these episodes. You've got episodes like Feeling Pinky Keen where Twilight's snobbery comes out and she can't believe something she can't prove. And then you've got ones like Winter Wrapper where Twilight uses magic to wrap up Winter and does respect the ways of Ponyville. But then there's episodes like Fall Weather Friends where Twilight is depicted as a voice of reason in a lot of plots. And then you got ones like Ticketmaster where Twilight struggles to give one of her friends an extra ticket to the Grand Galloping Gala. Bear in mind Twilight is supposed to be new to friendship, would have probably given it to one of her friends, then left the others and then learned the lesson. But no, that's not what happens. There also isn't really any big way the Twilight in that arcs in that season pays off, as it pays off with the Grand Best Night Ever, and that's really an ensemble episode. So yeah, Twilight in season 1 is a bit weird. She started off strong, then went off the rails for a bit, and really wasn't given a solid conclusion to her arc. But I still like her in this bit, it's an interesting portrayal. A bit of an outsider that still isn't perfect, but still is a voice of reason. Season 2 introduces a new side to Twilight's character, her stress level and her anger. We start off with the return of Harmony, which she reaches the man himself, Discord.
You should see the looks on your faces. Priceless.
Discord is probably the best villain because he's probably the closest that whoever got to breaking the main six's spirits and driving Twilight to go insane. He drives the main six to be the opposite of their regular selves. That means when they use the elements of harmony, it doesn't work because they're not representing their spirits. A pretty clever plan, to be honest. But of course, they do defeat Discord and set everything right. But the important thing here is that Twilight gave up. It shows that even the best heroes, the main character of the series, can lose hope and also go completely insane. You get some amazing fight scenes with this. I mean, Pinky literally bites Twilight's hoof and Twilight kicks Applejack in the face. This episode is so good, especially by Tara Strong's amazing performance.
Look, and I'm gonna read it!
A downward spiral is just so fun to watch unfold, and Discord is just an hilarious character. It really shows how the perfectest of heroes can eventually lose their, The rest of the season introduces a well-known character trait, her stress and organisation level. We got a bit of that in season 1 with Winter Wrap Up, but this season really amped it up and I love it. Lesson 0 is a perfect example of what I mean, where we see Twilight's stress levels take centre stage. I'm sure you all know the plot of this one, it's a very well-known episode, but the important thing is that we see how far Twilight is willing to go just to keep her position. She literally brainwashes the entire town of a doll, a pretty crappy doll at that, and it's so fun to watch. A similar episode, It's About Time, deals with the same concept, but the difference is that in this, Twilight is actually caring about the whole of Ponyville. She gets an alert from her future self about disaster happening to Ponyville, which is really just her not getting worked up. But the thing is though, she just after all of Equestria. She was caring about others, whereas in Lesson 0, it's her own personal position with Princess Celestia. This shows that Twilight is maturing and learning more about friendship. She puts other ponies in front of her. The first step of her character arc. Now, A Candlelit Wedding is my favourite two-part of the series, but it's interesting for Twilight because it mixes both of these. You see her anger come around when we see Cadence being a snob, which is really Chrysalis in disguise, and also we see it reach a boiling point here, where she lashes out in front of everyone. However, it is rational and it does boil over time like the return of harmony, but this time it is her own fault. She did get her anger the best of her, even though Cadence is evil in this form. If you ask me, this special is a perfect example of all of Twilight's character flaws coming together. We've got her anger and her jerk side coming out by the way she acts to other ponies. We see her stress and worry side come out when she sees Shining Arbor being her. We also see her rational side coming out by the way she actually speaks her mind and knows what to do. I really like this two-parter because it's a perfect example of showing all of Twilight's major flaws. I also like how it isn't Twilight that saves the day in the end. It's Shining Armor and Cadence, showing that not only the main character has to save the day every single time, though it is a bit anticlimactic. I mean, of course, like something had to happen. What exactly did happen? But honestly, A Candlelit Wedding, solid. It shows all of Twilight's best character flaws and strengths. I can't wait to review it in the MLP retrospective, which will come eventually. I don't really have anything to say about Season 3 or the Crystal Empire other than it continues the stories that Season 2 continued. Like pointing other ponies' needs before hers and learning about the value of friendship. At the beginning of the episode, Celestia makes it very clear that
in the end, it must be you and you alone who ultimately assists Princess Cadence and Shining Armor in doing what needs to be done to protect the Empire.
Well, she said. Basically, it has to be her that completes the test on her on the end and only her. This is probably why she makes up this fake excuse about keeping the fair running and only she has to get the Crystal Heart, but honestly it was pretty rational fear. I'm guessing you don't know the plot, but the important thing is that Twilight put other ponies' lives in front of her position with Princess Celestia, which shows significant growth over Season 2 and especially Season 1. The scene with Twilight's greatest fear is losing her position as Celestia's student greatly reinforces this, and it makes the impact even more genuine. This is also one of my favourite two-parts purely because of this reason alone, because Twilight's character arc could be within this full episode. I don't really have much to say for the rest of the season. I mean, Twilight got one lead, Magic Duel, which is another one of my favourite episodes. It features the return of Trixie, again, one of my favourite characters, and deals with a very interesting concept. What if someone other than an Alicorn had more power than Twilight? We never see that before, but we see it in this episode, sort of. Trixie wears this amulet called the Alicorn Amulet to amplify her powers, and uses it to dominate Ponyville. But in the end, Twilight doesn't even use magic to defeat Trixie. She uses her mind and her friends, the magic of friendship. And once again, she does it to set Ponyville free from Trixie's reign. But easily the biggest thing that happened in Season 3, you all knew this was coming, was this.
Twilight? Is that you?
That right there, I bet, was the fans' reaction back in 2013. Twilight became an Alicorn and Princess of Friendship. over 3 seasons of development, and this is what it led to. It is worth noting that Hasbro was thinking of cancelling the series after this, and this is probably why they decided to end season 3 with this episode, but they didn't, and we'll get to that in a minute. This is a very controversial opinion, but I think it was for the better because, to be honest, I think why they did this is because they were running out of ideas for Twilight's lessons to learn. So that's why she decided to become the Princess of Friendship. So now she can help spread the magic of friendship everywhere and help other ponies. Really poetic, to be honest. It is worth knowing that she grew at this time. I guess all Alicorns just have a specific height.